Hello, YouTube! You're watching This Podcast is Personalized. It's hosted by Pinky Culture on the Pocket channel and
Dragon Queen.
Alright, so today we have news as always. A possible new Nintendo IP might come out based on an interview with, who was it? The president? Or developer?
No, it wasn't. It was a director.
The director. So they were talking about might get new Mario games and whatnot, but there was a mention of a possible new IP, which got the fans, get their noggin jogging. I got that little hamster wheel and their brain running a little bit because now they're trying to figure out, hey, we might actually get a new IP. You wonder what's gonna be, what games we're getting and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. There's more Nintendo stuff coming up, and we know there's gonna be the E3 mid in the summer and stuff. So. And a Nintendo Direct, that's gonna be the summer of. We're gonna have a big summer of games, and this is another hopeful thing.
I mean, we're also getting Summerfest. So again, going back to the whole game, big time, in the video game industry world right now.
Right. Yeah. So when summer, the kids have summer vacation and college have summer break. Now this time to spend your. Try to consume product, try to get a lot of stuff will be on sale and new games will be out, so everyone's gonna partake. I'm definitely gonna partake. Speaking of more Nintendo stuff, we got Shantae, the original Game Boy Color game, which originally was really hard to find. It's very expensive. A lot of people emulate it. Now it's gonna be on Switch. This is pretty big because I remember when it was I think it was in the Virtual Console back then, but yeah, I'm pretty sure. One of the games was on the Virtual Console back in the 3DS era, and now we got is it on Switch? It's gonna probably look really good once you it's gonna be played in HD with the. I think they might have a border around it though, right? The way the games play. I think maybe. It's gonna have so it's not really an HD remake. It's just a port. But still, it's a pretty big deal that we're having more old school games on Switch, especially with a lot of rumors of not a virtual console, but
adding more options and
on the online yeah, the online stuff. And instead of virtual console, they just port a few games here and there or do remakes or whatever HD or different remakes of old games. So virtual console's not there, but the energy is there. There's different versions of getting old games, different ways of getting old games on the Switch. And that's good because Nintendo usually does the nostalgia stuff and it panders with the old fans as well as the new fans. So this is another W for people that like retro stuff because Shantae was a big one back in the day. And the more Nintendo news, a new Switch Lite color. This one is blue but a darker shade of blue, almost like a royal blue. At least from what I've seen, and some people thought it was purple. But
right now there's a small discourse on what the actual color is. But the thing is that these are product pictures, so the colors may actually be different in person. That happened with the Mario Switch. So
right, and it's to celebrate the remake of Miitopia, which is the RPG with exclusively Mii's. Which I'm glad there's going to be more Mii games because Mii games were cool and I always wanted I played was it Tomodachi Life?
Yeah, Tomodachi Life.
That was a good Mii game and the Wii Sports had your Mii and stuff.
It's this blue one. It's not it has any. It's not a limited edition Miitopia or anything like that. It's not. It's just a regular. It's a regular Switch Lite. It's just blue.
Yeah.
But they wanted to release alongside with this new game.
Right, so people that just got into it, if you want to get a light, just got into people that just got into the Nintendo stuff and they want to buy a Switch for the first time and thought Miitopia looks like a quirky game and maybe remembers the Mii era from back in the day. It's good for new fan. It's better for I think it's more of a new fan thing. You're new, you want to get the. You want to get the Switch for the first time. Miitopia is a good game to come along because it's a quirky RPG, very reminiscent of Tomodachi Life and those type of games. And I think I remember this. There was not sure if you guys remember this. Back in the 3DS, there was a free-to-play RPG with Mii's. And I think they took elements from that. You've probably never heard of this. I played the crap out of it. I forgot the name of the game though, but it even came with a sequel. There's two games. They're like RPGs. They're free to play for the. It's like a Street Pass game. You get more Mii's through Street Pass if you connect with other people. Like let's say you bring your 3DS and you have like the Street Pass thing on, which is like a wireless kind of thing. And let's say you bring it to an airport, and everyone that has a 3DS has Street Pass. All the 3DS connect. Like the second like you pass by a person, and that 3DS will connect to the other 3DS, and that will send data to each other, and a new Mii will show up, and that Mii will fight with you in the RPG. So they took that idea and turned it into a full game. So it used to be like a free to play, like easier to get it thing. And it has a sequel, which is the same thing basically.
Yeah, I'm surprised I never heard of it.
Yeah, it's very it's more rare. Like would say it's very overlooked. Not many people know about it. Even people that are 3DS owners don't know about this one. I play the crap out of that one. So yeah, look up that 3DS. I forgot the name of it, but it's a free 3DS Mii RPG game, which inspired Miitopia. Very coal stuff. Might actually pick it up because I didn't play Miitopia on the 3DS. I just played the free one, but I might pick it up for a Switch because they actually improved the graphics and features and stuff. We also got Pokemon news.
Yeah, Pokemon. There was Gen 3 leaks of the source code for Ruby and Sapphire, but this was about a year ago. In comparison to the Gen 1, Gen 2, and Gen 4 source codes and leak Pokemon content, beta stuff, the big difference with the Gen 3 stuff is that because we didn't get sprites or actual like images of the cup Pokemon or other cup stuff, it was overlooked. I mean, I didn't even hear about this. And I'm always on top of this stuff.
The only thing we knew is that there was beta like starters. Like we've seen a few beta things,
yeah,
but like it was very little compared to all the other gens. Which gens 1 and 2 had like almost entire cup Pokédex. Like we're talking like in the hundreds at this point.
Yeah.
Of content. Well, Gen 3 has like a few entries in the like literal just words, just Pokédex entries and types and descriptions, no images attached, except for like I think just the starters. So yeah, it was really overlooked, and we saw a video by shout out to Hoops and Hip Hop. He's a Pokemon YouTuber that basically showed all the Pokédex entry of the leaked stuff. We'll put the video link in the description for you to check out. It's like half an hour video, but it's very informative. There's also like I think he also links to like the cutting room floor where he got his sources. You want to check them out personally for yourself. Very cool stuff. The fact that we're still discovering new Pokemon things every day, you know.
Every day.
Yeah.
The other thing about it is that it seems that a lot of these cup Pokemon from Gen 3 ended up in Gen 5, and only like I think one ended up on Gen 4. So yeah, I think it's really fascinating. I love hearing about what went into making a Pokemon game.
Yeah, the behind the scenes. Yeah.
It's funny enough with Gen 3, we don't have as much behind the scenes as we do the other generations.
True, but what we do know is it was Junichi Masuda's like first game as a director.
Yeah, it's when he joined as a director officially. Yeah.
And it's weird because like Gen 3 has a lot of controversy in the fact that a lot of people fell off at the time. There's a lot of debate where it's like some people say it's the best, some people say it's the worst. I'm kind of in the middle, right? Like, it's good. It's good Gen, but Gen 4 is our favorite.
It's true. I do love Gen 3.
Gen 3 has a great spin-off games. Pokemon Ranger, because before Gen 4 there was some DS stuff. Pokemon Ranger, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, what was it? The Coliseum and XD Darkness. Like we got Gen 3 had great spin-off games. Like it had like the anime, the movies, all that stuff. It was great. Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, but the good content, but the games themselves had their own issues. They took away the day and night cycle. They took away the timing. Like they took away a lot of stuff for Gen 3 that was already implemented again in Gen 4. Gen 4 had the day and night cycle.
Although I do love there's some Pokemon in Gen 3 that I'm very attached to.
Yeah.
I mean,
the legendaries and stuff are great.
Yeah. And the starters and some other Pokemon. So like I really love them. Battlefront. I spend a lot of time in the Battle Frontier.
But then Gen 4 one up them and made their own Battle Frontier.
It's true.
They didn't just copy paste the previous Battle Frontier. They made their own Battle Frontier.
They did.
They did their own post game content. So yeah, that was that. Like Gen 3 is gets a lot of people talking. And we also got 20 years of Animal Crossing. I didn't know that Animal Crossing turned 20. I didn't think it was that old. Because we got into it in the 2000s, in the
with Wild World.
Mid 2000s with Wild World on Nintendo DS. But I didn't even know it was a Nintendo 64 game when it first came out. Then it got ported onto GameCube for the American release, and then it became the success.
So it used to be called Animal Forest in Japan. Before, when they brought it to the West, they changed the name to Animal Crossing. And if anyone knows that, like, if you drive down the highway, you will see an Animal Crossing sign, not like from the game, but what it's based off. Like, you will see like the
caution animals crossing.
Yeah, you will see like a deer. It looks like it's jumping.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you gotta watch out on the road of animals that are physically crossing the road. You don't hit them with a car.
So yeah, we got 20s Animal Crossing. Not sure how they're gonna celebrate that.
Oh well, the Twitter account just like they tweeted about it and they wanted people to just
but I'm not sure how the official games I'm not sure I think they should have new content because I kind of felt I wouldn't say fell off completely. I just don't play as much Animal Crossing as I used to. I used to play every single day, and now I don't as much, and it's because there's like some new content, but after a year, like you kind of seen everything. So I feel like there should be like a complete like what they did in New Leaf was that after people got bored. Even I let go of the game, and then they added this massive update.
That's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for a massive update. We want Brewster. We want some other people that are from the previous games, and we want some kind of like mini game or like Tournament Island or something we could do.
Yeah, I would love a massive update. Hell, if they even added DLC and added like a bunch of content, that would be great.
That would be great. Like, I feel like we need more to do. I mean, I love getting the furniture stuff. I love when they do like little like holiday event stuff. I usually always join in, even if the Bunny Day. But I would like a big update, something like so almost like little mini games or things like that. Or,
remember that time we had like the mini game in the separate island?
Yeah, Tournament's Island. Please bring back.
No. There wasn't there like a certain time where there was like an Animal Crossing. What was it? Like you get an item. You go to different islands, right? And there was this one island that you have to go through like some kind of mini game to get like a certain item.
Oh, that happened in New Horizons.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Rover. That was Rover.
Yeah, something like that. That.
I have a lot of. I wish I could show you guys. I have a lot of Animal Crossing related.
More content like that, where it's like you played this minigame. We had to use tools. You had to like improvise to get through some kind of course.
Yeah, it was a maze. It was like a little labyrinth.
That would be cool if they expanded on that because I played through that once. It was like an event thing, right?
Yeah, it was really. I actually really liked it. I did it a few times and. Because I couldn't at first. I couldn't figure it out, and then when I finally figured it out, it was Rover at the end, and you get his suitcase, which is a special item.
Yeah, well, that's 20 years Animal Crossing. We might get new content. We might not. You never know. I mean, keep your fingers crossed, Animal Crossing fans.
Exactly. They're constantly updated, so I have strong hopes. Please, Brewster.
We got this one's a Xbox One news, but it's also related to Switch. Possible Game Pass on Switch.
Yo, I started laughing at this.
Yeah, I could not take that. I still cannot take that seriously. I really doubt there will be, but what I think there might happen is we might have like an xCloud on Switch. Using the infrastructure from Microsoft on the Switch is entirely possible because there's some kind of low-key partnership there. And I don't think they could put Xbox Game Pass all together, even though there's a lot of rumors and a lot of like interviews, a lot of like hints towards it. Didn't Phil had a Switch in his in his shelf right there, hinting towards it, and and there was a long talks about partnership with Xbox, and I don't think they're gonna have Game Pass all together because my prediction is that Nintendo gonna have their own version of Game Pass where you pay every month or every year for probably like more retro games monthly, like the way they do now with an expanded version of the online. And instead of just like SNES games and NES games, we might end up having like GameCube and 64 and a Wii. That's what they were experimenting with 3D All Stars, which is literally using a Wii emulator, GameCube emulator, and 64 emulator on Switch, and it ran pretty well. So that, but for third-party games that are like like a lot, that put a lot of strain on the Switch, I wouldn't run well. Using XCloud instead, connected to the internet with Microsoft infrastructure, it could definitely you could definitely play a few games, because right now games on the cloud on Switch aren't very good. But if they were on XCloud, they actually might run better. So that seems more possible. Like,
I know it sounds kind of dumb about pointing out something on Phil's background, like shelf area. It's because after when people pointed out that figure from Death Stranding, and then now possibly being a thing that Kojima and Xbox are possibly like partnering to make, like,
a new game.
a new game out there. So it's highly possible. It's not the first time that this happens with you see some sort of connection with between one company and another, and them possibly doing something like collaborating or working together.
Yeah, very big stuff. That made it the thumbnail of this thing, because that's very big. When I first okay, this might actually Xbox Switch collaboration. It might not be Game Pass. I don't think it will be, but we're gonna get some Xbox.
Maybe E3, because both of them.
E3, they're both gonna be there. Come on, that can't be a coincidence.
It's why I was laughing. I was laughing so much at the idea that at E3 they could announce this, and everyone will flip the f out.
Oh, Sony fans punching the air.
They will be punching the air.
Oh man, we're still gonna get the PS5, but like, bruh.
Yeah.
Bruh. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna be like a whole thing. XCloud makes more sense. Anyways, we got Mass Effect Legendary Edition going gold, which means they sold a bunch of copies.
No, that just means it's ready to go. It's just ready to come out.
Oh, that's what it is. That's for music is when album goes gold.
Yeah, I always find that kind of confusing.
Right? I thought it was like when album goes platinum.
Yeah, or goes gold or something like that, or whatever.
Because when video games do well, they put like platinum, like.
Yeah, but for some reason, the jargon for video games is that when a game goes gold, it's ready to come out. Is why it was funny. It was super funny when this happened to Cyberpunk, when like Cyberpunk was like, we've gone gold.
Yeah,
and then
right.
the next day.
So because of that, like, I probably wouldn't even trust. I wouldn't even trust.
No, but then the next day, well, not like the next day, but like not long after that, they're like, oh, sorry, we have to delay it, which is weird, because when a game goes gold, they're like 1,000% ready, or they're supposed to feel like that. So Mass Effect fans are very excited, because there was there's a date that's like very close to Mass Effect fans that they were waiting for news, and then that day came. They got news, and now the people are excited. So
yeah, we got Sonic Colors remake.
Oh yeah.
Now, I always wanted to play Sonic Colors on, because Wii games at the time cost $50 each, and this was back in the day. I was broke. Like, we didn't come from a wealthy family.
Right.
We had a Wii and like a handful of games, but not much. And I think I got like one or two. I got like 2 virtual console games. So there's a lot of Wii games I kind of missed out on, and one of them was Sonic Colors, and that
Right, but this is not confirmed yet. It was a listing, I think, a French site.
Right.
I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. The possible like some sort of like Sonic Colors Ultimate Edition or something. So it could come to the Switch if this happens.
Right. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, of course, because Sega.
And this is also the Sonic anniversary, so that'll be a good way to celebrate like a remake of Sonic Colors, which is a popular like 3D Sonic game.
It did better than the other ones.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Metroid.
Metroid? Oh, yeah. Metroid Prime 4. It's technically confirmed. Basically, it says they're gonna have a new animator that worked on DreamWorks movies. So we're probably gonna have cool cutscenes.
Yes, and the fact that anything was mentioned about Metroid 4 is a big deal.
Yeah, because everyone thought like, oh, you know.
People were starting to feel like maybe Nintendo forgot again.
No, they were. Yeah. Well, now we got info on it, so it exists. You know.
Good. I actually, for the sake of Metroid fans, I want this to happen.
We also got. Let's see.
Which, by the way, I actually got to play the fan game. Oh yeah, the fan game. The Nintendo ninjas might hear, but
Oh, no.
no, it was quite good.
Nintendo's gonna hack your computer and delete the game.
For reals. The music is great. The visuals are great. It just plays terribly because
you have to use a mouse and stuff.
Well,
it's a 2D platforming game, but you have to use a mouse, like in the Flash days.
Well, because the mouse is to
shoot, right?
Yes, to shoot and direct. So, Samus hand cannon moves with the mouse, and then when you click, she shoots.
And the remake is not the remake. The fan game is not just like the first person Metroid Prime. No, it's literally a platformer version.
Yeah.
And it doesn't control well because you have to use a mouse to shoot. Usually in platformers, like.
Well, I don't have. Well, that's true, but.
And then there's also like you have to use the WASD and space bar. It's like a freaking Flash game, almost like.
Yeah.
Except it looks nicer.
It does look weird. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, it could legit. If it was polished better and stuff, and Nintendo decided to do something like that, it could pass off as a legit Nintendo game.
It could. I just wish the controls were better. Like I had a really hard time making her jump through the few platforms that were around. Yeah, it's just a demo. If you could find it, play it. Yeah, I love that though.
All right, we got PlayStation 5 updates. This is basically a big update, and
yeah,
the highlight of the update is finally PS5 is getting extra storage, just like Xbox. And
finally.
Since we're planning on getting PS5, I'm glad the extra storage could help. Not gonna get the extra storage right away, but it's good for people that like want to download games.
I think I might get it. I think
I don't know because aren't we getting games on discs?
Yeah, but it still will help.
True.
I think I'm gonna jump on that because I actually something I was waiting for by the time that we actually get a PS5. I was like, please do this.
Yeah. So if you got the PS5, right? Let's say you're want to upgrade from PS4, or you never had a PlayStation system and like you want to get a PS5. My recommendation is to get a bunch of PS4 games. PS4 games are dirt cheap right now. Mostly used as well, like. But again, you could just erase the file and whatever, right? And my advice for new PS5 fans, and you want to get a bunch of games, but like, oh man, these PS5 games look so expensive. You could get a bunch of PS4 games for cheap. Used or not, they're still cheaper. And once you put them on the PS5, they kind of update the resolution. Like they kind of like pretty up a little bit, so it could actually work on your 4K TV. And I'm not saying it'll up it to 4K, maybe update to 1080p, and PS4 games will look a lot better on PS5. So my advice is like if you just got a PS5 and you want to be a little bit on a budget, you want to get a bunch of games that you haven't played. Our plan is to get a few PS4 games and just which is actually like that's a good idea.
That would be
because PS4 games dropped in price since PS5 games are at a new rate, which a lot of PS5 games are like ports or like updated versions of PS4 games, like with the added DLC or like better graphics, 4K, this and that. So yeah, so PS5 major update. PS5 needed an update. There was like some people were reporting issues early on. Speaking of issues, Outriders.
It's so funny to me because we just talked about Outriders surpassing Avengers in sales, and now it feels like we just talked about it, and now they age poorly for a second.
Well, Avengers had their own problems at launch, so
I know, but
that's every game now.
Yeah, but tell all the listeners why we're talking about Outriders.
So Outriders had a game-breaking bug that deletes your game file. Luckily, I think it's been fixed by now. If you're listening to this podcast, it's definitely been patched. Like by
Hopefully.
now, no, definitely. Like this story for a couple of days ago. So they said they're gonna patch it right away, and it right now is Thursday. It'll probably uploaded by Friday or Saturday. So like, yeah, no, for sure. This thing's been fixed. But it's just like it's crazy seeing like a new game that like it's such a big deal now because people didn't think it'll do well. It did really well. It surpassed Avengers, which is like a mainstream game that has its own issues. So wow, I mean that's kind of crazy. Like
That is.
a game breaking bug on day one. Oh, well, technically it's not as crazy. A lot of games have game breaking bugs on day one, which is really sad. But that's the industry for you. We got Final Fantasy has DLC coming June 10th. So Final Fantasy VII Remake DLC for June 10th.
Getting new characters. Juffy, was it? Yuffie?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's exciting for all Final Fantasy fans.
True. I don't really have anything else to say about Final Fantasy. Do you?
No.
Alright, next story. Naughty Dog. The people that brought you Last of Us and Last of Us 2 and Last of Us Remake and Last of Us Remake again and Last of Us Part 2 HD 4K.
You're starting to sound like a meme.
Yeah, but it's they were wasn't it like a fan or someone asked them about Jack and Daxter and they were like, oh yeah, we might, I don't know.
No, it's not just one person. Apparently, like according to the article that was referenced, it was many people asking for a new Jack and Daxter game.
And what was their response?
Their response was, "We wish we could. Here at the company, we love these characters, but we just can't get to it. And you know why? Because they're working on the Last of Us remake.
Remake. It's another remake because we already have.
This is not upsetting at all.
Like you could literally play like the updated like Last of Us version of PS4, which like more stuff because it came out on the PS3, so. We got the remake on PS4, technically, right? The definitive edition. And now we get another one on PS5. It's basically the same game, again. And Part 2, well, how Part 2... Part 2, I guess is sold well, but not... It's sold, like, as much as you would think a Last of Us game would sell. And we all know that the whole Game of the Year thing is definitely, like... we know it's rigged. We know that thing's rigged.
Rigged.
Yeah. But wasn't there another contest? After the
there's
awards.
There's a few smaller awards.
Award shows. There was this other award show where Hades won, but Last of Us Part 2 I think won like best directing, something like that. Like it was like the main award went to Hades. And Last of Us Part 2 won director. And then it was weird. It was like looking into like another universe where Game Awards wasn't like this.
What he's referring to is a smaller Game Awards. Yeah. I wish I could remember the name of it, but I do remember seeing the on the social media post about it.
Yeah, it was like the game. It was like basically if the Game Awards were honest, like in the sense that like if they were not shills. Like behind the scenes crap, like no corruption, whatever you want to call it. And
yeah, I'm pretty sure
it was like looking into another universe, that other game show, on the other Game Award show. And it was basically like Hades was on top. Last of Us did win an award, but it had to do mostly with director because that's a very story-based heavy game. And then yeah, I think I think a Nintendo game was in there for like family. Like it was basically how it should have been, and it was weird. But yeah, now we got the last story, right? Or unless you got anything else before we cover the last story. No, so the last story was yesterday. Was it yesterday or today? The Indie Showcase.
Oh, it was yesterday.
Yesterday. So yesterday was a Nintendo Indie Showcase, and they showed off a couple of games. So you could start off with that.
Yeah, I actually tuned into the showcase. the first game that I'm just gonna say straight up because it's the one I'm most excited about, and I think most people will agree with me. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
All right. We hyped it up in I think a previous podcast. Like we got announced, and we are like hyped about that. And now seeing it, like the footage of it, and the fact that we get a announcement date.
No, it just says 2021.
Well, I'm gonna play. I got Streets of Rage 4.
Oh yes, the same people that this did that game.
So that's gonna be like my fill, like like. But while waiting for TMNT, I really recommend Streets of Rage 4 on Switch. I think the sale's still there. It was on. I got it on sale. If the sale's still there, get it. But you should still get it anyways because it's a good game to like, turn off your brain and it's like a beat 'em up. At least before TMNT drops. So there you go. What else for the indie showcase?
So it started off showing us a story-driven game, a narrative of sorts called Road 96, when you're a road trip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then they showed another game called Aerial and Knights, Never Yield. I really like the style of this one. It was a futuristic Tokyo, Detroit, very stylized 3D side-scroller runner. Comes out May 19. There's a demo now. Urban street style, like we like the visuals. The music was sounded fantastic. So that sounds that's us.
Oh, it's a runner, like
yeah, runner. And then we got two back-to-back Annapurna Interactive. I like Annapurna Interactive. They seem like cool people. We got Last Stop and Hindsight. They also a story-driven narrative type of games coming out. Last Stop is July 2021, and then Hindsight is just says 2021. Some of these are either I think there's only one that's like actually coming in 2022, but for most of it, it seems like it's coming out this year. Then we got Ollie Ollie World, which is I think it's a sequel to a previous Ollie Ollie game, an actual platformer skateboarding type. So if you are into skateboarding, you'll probably enjoy this. Coming in winter 2021. Then we got The Longing. It has like a hand-drawn style adventure puzzle game. So you're like a tiny character in what feels like a expansive, empty, location, and it takes place like in real time of like 400 days. So I thought it was kind of interesting. It's pretty like subdued, like with muted backgrounds. It just even the character looks kind of like a shadow with like bright big eyes. If I'm not mistaken, it actually came out yesterday. It should be in the eShop now. Then we got Chris Tales, RPG, fantasy RPG, coming out July 2021. Then we got Getsu Fumaden, Undying Moon. This one's the one that's coming out next year. It has a Japanese art style roguelike hack slash. So, what I really feel about this indie world showcase is that it seems to be a game for everyone. Like, depending on which genre of games you like, it seems like there's something out for everyone. Like, for example, this next one is called Aztec Forgotten Gods. So the devs behind this game actually seems that like they are actually like Mexican, and they're in the Mexican culture, because this game is all about their heritage and culture, which is very cool. It's an like open world, and you fight like giant monsters and stuff. It comes out fall of this year. It blends future tech with like a old old tech. So it seems really nice. I'm not gonna say that it's Breath of the Wild, but it's not. But it does have the open world feel though.
So I've been looking into some stuff. You know how you do your own research, I do my own. Possible GTA leaks. Now, this is taking a grain of salt. Every time, new GTA leak. So, possibly, saw a few sources that they uploaded, Rockstar updated their website, and a lot of people saying they might return to Vice City. But take that with a grain of salt. I just saw this. This
is
yesterday.
Breaking news.
I want to say breaking. It was like yesterday, like 2 days ago almost. GTA 6 stuff. If it was breaking, I would have been like, breaking! GTA 6 confirmed! No, it's just like, another day, another leak. Quote-unquote leak. I don't know. It could be, either GTA 6 might take place in Vice City, or Rockstar might make some kind of Vice City, like, remake or something. Maybe for the Switch, please! There is a Rockstar game on Switch, I think called LA Noire. So, we might get like some old GTA content for Switch.
Back to the Indie World Showcase. The following game is called Skull, the Hero Slayer. So the way that they described it was like kind of a bit like the whole trope of like the hero going out and slaying the baddies and all that. It has roguelike elements. 2D action platformer coming out summer of 2021. Now another bigger title that was showcased was The House of the Dead, but there's a remake coming out also out this year. Horror style, all that.
Yeah.
Then we got a few more. Ender Lilies, Quietest of the Nights, June 2021, 2D action. Then we got Beast of the Maravilla Island, a 3D platformer, June of 2021. Yeah, it seems like it also has like photography. At first, it gave me a few Pokemon Snap vibes, that we always take a picture of the
right
of the surroundings and stuff. Because the way it has it show like a camera screen while you were playing. I was like, oh, like. It's because I'm very excited about Pokemon Snap and then on the mouth. We got Fez that already came out. It's on the eShop. The Indie World sale started yesterday from 9 a.m. and it goes all the way to April 25th, 11:59 p.m. PT Pacific time. There was a few games that were announced really quickly, called The Art of Rally, The Kiwi, Labyrinth City, Pierre the Maze Detective, Weaving Tides. And then we got Oxenfree 2, Lost Signals, announced also for this year. So for anyone that played Oxen 1, here we go. And then we got There's No Game. And that's it. Bye-bye. We're done now. There's no more games.
Yeah, you purposely wanted to end it with There Is No Game. Because it's literally a game called There Is No Game. An experimental title with look like it has mini games or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they didn't show too much of it, but they said it came out yesterday. It's called There Is No Game. Wrong Dimension. Comedy point and click, it seems. And I love how the start menu, it's not an actual start menu, because when you click it's not start, so don't start this game.
Yeah,
do not get this game, do not start this game, because this is not a game, it doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's like very meta, very like humorous. Yeah, so I guess we could just end it with that.
Yeah, we go.
Yeah. That's why I threw in that GTA potential news, which is like every freaking week there's a GTA thing. Before ending your thing, because wanted to also end with that. Anyways, that's been everything. Thanks for tuning in, guys. It's been fun.
Bye bye.
And have a good one.